everyone, I wanted to take a few minutes and go over some siege defense. Now, I haven't done a lot of siege defense before this, but we wanted to try to practice some things. So we were taking a look at just learning some siege defense in this video. We were not actually defending against another guild that we needed to actually defend against. So up here you can see kind of on the towers, there are items that are being built. Now this one is still in the building process, but you can see that there's on top of the towers and on some of the platforms and stuff, there's different defense items that are being built. Now the Minister of Defense has permissions to place whichever items he wants in different locations, depending on what he wants to put out. But there's those on top of the towers. If you go up these little ramps here, you can access some additional ones. And there you can see another catapult. And over by where you spawn in, there are several mechs. And you can see them all over there. Now the mechs are really good for destroying tanks, but you have to get several together in order to do that. So we'll go over the mechs in a little bit. Besides on top of the walls and on top of the towers and the mechs, there are a couple of items over here at the mine entrance, and these are little turrets that you can get into. And in this case, I think that they're done enough that I can actually try them. So they're a little bit confusing to use at first. I kept trying to aim up higher and it would just look me up to the sky. So if you're looking up too high, then just go ahead and look down lower, because you can't aim out that far. So here you're able to move and aim this. See, and it doesn't actually have too far of a range. These are shorter range than the catapults. And then you can just fire on people coming in through the mines. The other one has a more of a range closer to the entrance, and this has a range that's closer to the pathway up. But as you can see, there's a second catapult or turret over here that you can jump on, and then also reach some of those same areas near the mines. Okay, going across the castle to near where the campfire is, there are these ladders that go up the wall, one on each side of the gate and one on each side of the middle gate as well. And you can climb these ladders to get up to these towers at the top. And up at here, you can see that there are more catapults. So I just wanted to show you that they are on this gate as well. And as you can see, they actually do shoot pretty far. With the catapults, you have to hold down the button in order to shoot further. And if you just tap the button, it shoots pretty close. So here we're able to reach all the way to that north tower, but also able to shoot the gate area as well. So those are both really good locations to sit when you are doing defense. Now, the other thing about doing defense is if you're a weaker player that usually dies pretty quick to PvP, or you're concerned that you're not going to be very helpful, these are wonderful things to go ahead and do, is to get into these. Now, they're not always very exciting because sometimes you're just sitting there waiting for people to show up, but it's really, really helpful to have those armed in case you need them. Okay, just like on the other side, on this side you can go up the ramp, and there are additional armaments here. I believe there's one on each side up here, and you're able to go and eventually in a later update you're going to be able to launch these little drones as well, but they are not able to be used quite yet. I think that's 4.0 that I heard that those are going to be available. So up here again you can see that there's more, and now I'm going to jump down on the other side. This is not inside the castle gate, this is by the north tower. And over here there is another ladder on this side that you can climb up as well to get to an additional location where they can put defensive items. So up here I can also use this, and that will get me closer to, again, that north tower and the gate entrance. And here I'm just tapping it because I didn't quite figure out that you had to hold it down yet, but if you hold that button down, it will launch it further. Okay, under your guild menu and build is the armaments section where you can see the information on the different armaments. There's both offensive and defensive weapons in here. Under the map are additional buttons, and one of those buttons will show you the number of people in the siege. The other button will bring up a map of where you can place defensive items. And again, these are only available for the Minister of Defense, but you can see here that there are different items placed around the maps for where you would like to put stuff. The tab below that also shows what armaments are being used and by who, so you can see where on the map they are located. Okay, once you port into the castle over by here, there will be a bunch of mechs that spawn as part of the defense. Now this is great if you get ported back because you don't realize you're supposed to not be in outskirts. Grab a mech on your way back, and you can bring that mech forward and kill things with it. Now, I don't find this actually all that helpful with the tanks or with the just killing people, but supposedly if you get several of these together on a tank, they can take down the tanks, and this is a really great way to use your defense. Also, they have more hit points, so if you find that you're dying a lot and you would like a little extra boost, you can use these. As I said, I don't see that they do a ton of damage against players, so I'm not sure I would use them against players just to use them, but I would definitely say if several of you want to gang up and use them against some tanks, that would be a great use of these defensive mechs. Okay, that's about all the advice I have on defense as far as the armaments go. Hopefully you found this helpful, at least if nothing else, to know the locations to look for them. You're watching video 40, and we will see you next time in World of Kings.